Morning, folks. It's a Saturday morning for me, and today's soap is coming by the way of RazoRock Italian Barber. This one here is Puros, and it is a cigar tobacco type flavor. This particular container I have, it started out with 5 ounces. It may be kind of hard to tell what color it is with that light, maybe trying to wash out the color, but it's kind of an off-white type color. Um, this scent coming right off the puck is might be on the upwards of medium, almost strong, or for some noses it might be strong. I know when you first, take the cap off, the lid, you can smell it without a problem. Uh, Cigar tobacco leaf type thing, boy, it is. For me, it's a manly scent. It's a nice scent for me. It probably won't be for everybody, but uh, I do like the scent of this one here. Now, the matching aftershave that I've got here, the two scents are slightly different. You can see that they're similar, but per my nose, they're different. And as it goes for the scent strength, don't know whether it was the soap or whether it was the aftershave, but when I brought it in the bathroom, in other words, and I was smelling the soap and I was smelling the aftershave and all that sort of thing. And my wife came in shortly thereafter and she could still smell the scent. So I don't know which one it was. I'm assuming it probably was the soap that the scent was still lingering. So that kind of help goes along with, the scent strength. Uh, it's not, I wouldn't consider it strong, but it's darn close, at least per my nose. It's a nice scent. Tobacco, cigars, pipe, all that sort of thing. I really do enjoy. I've got the lather whipped up here in a fine accoutrements lathering bowl here. You can see yeah, there you go. There's a little place for a hook if you wanted to use it. I've got it whipped up here with a horsehair brush, Vie Long. Vie Long, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. This particular brush, as well as a number of their knots, come in either dark, light color brown, maybe even white if that's what you're interested in looking at. This part of the handle is wood, and that's what the bottom looks like if you're kind of curious. Some would consider this not floppy, and depending on what kind of lathering technique you use, it probably is floppy, but I work my lather like this in the bowl. I'm a painter, so it works fine for me, just fantastic. I really do enjoy these kind of knots. But for other folks, if you're face lathering, it may not be the knot for you because it would be definitely floppy. Shaver of the day is equipped with a Wilkinson Sword blade. And yes, this is a Wilkinson Sword Razor Classic, if you will. All plastic, metal in the handle there. And it is a two-piece design. The threads on the cap is plastic, so when you go to snug it up, no He-Man strength is needed. Otherwise, you're going to strip those threads out. Anyhow, that's what this part looks like. You want to see what the underside looks like. Boy, it does have some weight in the handle, so it's not exactly a lightweight razor per se. And there's the blade there inside. Kind of get the idea of what it looks like. This will be my first time go. I have had this razor for a good moment. Guess you might say deciding on when would be a good time to use it. Matter of fact, as it goes for blade alignment, anything like that, there's nothing to it. I guess you might say the inspiration for all this is, by the way, of Paul H. from years ago when I first started watching YouTube videos. I guess you might say his appreciation for this particular razor. Prior to the camera getting started, I already used my pre-shave routine, a hot towel to the face, and I used some Proraso pre-shave cream here this morning. Excuse me. I'm going to get started here. But I've had, it's an inexpensive razor. You can spend, depending on what time of the year, when you buy it, and all that sort of thing, you can find it less than $10, but it's pretty easy to find it every day for $10. And it does come with a pack of blades right along with it. At least the setup that I got does, or did, I should say. It is considered to be a mild razor. Some may say it's a starter razor. And depending on the reviews and who you talk to about it, some enjoy using it as an everyday razor. a travel razor at $10. If it comes up missing, it's not breaking the bank, and you can usually find one for sale pretty easy, especially on Amazon. That the cigar tobacco, it just, to me, I just find it really appealing. It smells good to me. Like I said, most of the weight's going to be in the handle with the metal there. So the top part is lightweight because it is all plastic. With this particular blade, Wilkinson Sword, I do find this already pretty smooth. You can feel the blade cutting through the whiskers, but I don't find it missing or anything quite like that. Like Paul H. mentions, appreciating the razor for what it is. I have to say, if I was looking for a daily driver and wasn't looking at putting out a lot of money, and plus, like I say, it is easy to find. Numerous websites, like I said, or you can find it on Amazon. I know from time to time I notice that it is sold on Italian Barber's website. There's a number of places where you could probably find this razor. So if you needed another one, if the threads wore out on you or whatever the case might be, you could always get another one. And if you got a youngster that may or may not be interested in it, it would be in this kind of style of shaving, traditional wet shaving, if you will. It's a good place to start. As it goes for snugging it up, it's kind of a, you can feel it's almost like a full stop. You can tell when you got it snug enough where you don't need to tighten it anymore. And as it goes for these blades, I think it's kind of a pretty good buy. You get 5 blades in a razor for $10. If you price these blades nowadays, they keep, of course, going up on a price, which raises a whole nother conversation here. Sharpologist had an article here recently. My nose is trying to run on me, about razor blades. With all the events going on in the world, before the war even started, you already had COVID, the shipping issues, and now with the war going on, the availability of steel, the razor blades that are made in Russia and whatnot, are those blades, going to be available for much longer? What's the price going to be like? And the thought was more the concern of, as it goes for razor blades as a whole, the concern is shipping. More shipping as opposed to manufacturing being the issue. Shipping is the one, I guess you might say, the main concern. Now for me, it's been a little while since I mentioned in one of my videos about planning for the zombie apocalypse. This isn't quite the zombie apocalypse, but in some cases, depending on what kind of blades you're using, this could come pretty close, especially if you're not stockpiling them like I do. I have buku blades. I've got a lot of blades, and I've done that on purpose because I know at some point in time I'm going to stop purchasing them, because, in other words, I had planned ahead, did all this ahead of time, and I'm not going to be buying any more blades, razors, software. Maybe just a little bit of software, but you kind of get the picture. In other words, I know that the prices are only going to go up. They're only going to increase, and not anticipating what's going on now with COVID-19, and then a war broke out. In other words, I got quite a few of some of the blades that I do enjoy, that'll last me a good long while. And matter of fact, depending on what your favorite blade is, whereas if you're getting some that are coming from by the way of Egypt, I don't know where they're getting their steel from, but in other words, that cost may not be such an issue. But if you're a Voskhod fan or something like that, or some of the Procter & Gamble blades that are made in Russia, it could be a little bit more difficult to find with everything that's going on, and I've already got a fair amount of those. So for me, I'm pretty well set. Just depends on where you're getting your blades from, but shipping is probably right on target as it goes for the real issue. with as it goes for razor blades, because the just getting things shipped nowadays, the cost has went up quite a bit, and depending on what your news source is, shipping in some cases, has went up tenfold, depending on what you're shipping and where from and whatnot. So it is something to, guess you might say, give a little bit of thought. So if it hasn't quite clicked in your brain just yet, that maybe you might want to go get a couple of hundred of your favorite blade, depending on where it's at, where it's being made at. It just, like I said, it just depends on which one you like, where it's made from. Persona, I'm not sure if where, as it goes for Persona, where the steel is coming from. I know the blades, there's some that are made in Israel that you can see that they're made that way. Some are in Germany. I think there's still some made here stateside. I don't think they've farmed it all out. But I've got several hundred, so I'm good to go. Matter of fact, I think I've actually surpassed the 100 into the thousands, if nothing else, because I've been finding some good deals on some of the blades. For instance, I like Voskhod. I know it's not everybody's favorite blade, but for me, Voskhod works out pretty well. And there for a while, I was finding every once in a while, finding 100 for $6.99 and free shipping. It's like, wow, you can't beat that price. And even if it's a one and done, I thought, wow, I just can't pass this deal up. And it was on eBay is where I found that. And if I'm not mistaken, every once in a while I might see it on Amazon, depending on what time of the year it is. When you get closer to November and December, you'll notice a difference in prices. At least I do. As well as if you shop eBay, and a lot of it's window shopping, just staying up to speed on what the going price is. And it kind of helps with knowing that if you're going to stockpile certain blades, noticing that they're going to go up in price, you might want to do something here pretty soon if you're looking at saving some bucks. By the way, yeah, definitely a smooth shaver. Here pretty soon, in the next few videos, I will do one with I guess it's not available anymore, at least in the material that it's made out of. I've got a RazoRock SLOC, self-lubricating open comb, and the handle is stainless steel. It's a heavyweight, but the head itself is made out of aluminum. And I guess that head is no longer available, at least made out of aluminum. The style is still made, but out of different material. And one of the things I had noticed is, you notice that the speed of the strokes throughout my shave, were pretty quick. And with this shaver, I feel quite comfortable doing that. Well, the third use of a blade in the SLOC, yeah, when it got down to against the green pass, it was obvious that blade was done. I had to go a lot slower, otherwise I knew I was going to end up with a bunch of weepers, just the way it was going against the grain. Just one of those things I kind of discovered. I don't typically 3 shaves on a blade. I don't usually do, especially on the inexpensive 2, maybe even a 1 and done, just depending on the situation here. All right. I don't think I ever showed the cap. If you can see that, it's got a Wilkinson sword there. That's pretty cool. For me, I guess you might nostalgia, the personal connection that Paul H had with this razor compelled me to buy it, and it is for me, it's a smooth, easy-going razor, easy to use. If you want to know what it looks like after the shave, there it is. Thread's looking pretty clean. It looks like that, with a little bit of care, this razor would last you a good moment if you take care of it. Like I say, don't use He-Man streaks in trying to tighten it up. All right. Oh, witch hazel. I was still thinking about the scent of the aftershave there. Saturday morning. This is a nice, easy-going shave. All right, witch hazel. I have noticed, we went to Marshall's yesterday, and I had noticed that, at least at Marshall's, and it was put out in the news a while back, about availability of certain items. In other words, at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and things of that nature. So if you're like me, go to Marshall's, and while the wife is looking at purses and all that other stuff, I'm looking for bargains on witch hazel. And I noticed that witch hazel here lately is getting harder and harder to find in Marshall's. And it's one of those things that was mentioned about some of these name brand products in discount stores like this would be harder to find. And it seems to be going that direction. Aftershave. Now, talking about He-Man strength, you don't want to tighten up too terribly much with these kind of caps. Otherwise, you'll strip it out. And that is what the restrictor looks like. Like I said, the scent on this is similar to the soap, but it is different, at least per my nose. Now, for some people, that'll be off-putting. You can see that the two are similar, that they are definitely related. But wife and I were talking about that maybe on the dry down, it'll be closer together, at least per my nose today. Tomorrow will be a different story. My nose may not even be working at all. I can still pick up that cigar tobacco scent that the soap has, but I could tell that it is ever so slightly different. It's not an exact match by any means, but it's close enough that if you're that kind of person that likes the two to work together, it'll play well. It's just not an exact match. Not disappointing for me, but for somebody else it could be. Just thought I would point that out because I know sometimes when the soap smells different than what the aftershave does, and it might be because the dry down is where they start to, I guess you might say, come closer together on the scent. For my nose, it's already about there. It's just there, still ever, per my nose, just a little bit different. I had a great shave today. I hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.